Today I'm talking about the 3 things that beginners get wrong with watercolor. If you can change one of these things, you're gonna be miles ahead of where you are now. The first thing that I see beginners do is they are using too many brush strokes. When we have too many brush strokes, it makes the painting overworked. We lose our feeling of freshness, we lose our feeling of depth when we're using a lot of small brush strokes and creating a lot of texture all over the painting.
Imagine that you have some distant trees that you want to paint. It's tempting to use a small brush and paint every single bit with small, repetitive brush marks. If you take a medium-sized brush like this, and you can paint it in one mark, you can add in a little bit of differences. A lot of busy brushwork and texture makes those distant trees feel closer to you than they should.
Good painting is like golf. You want to get there in the least amount of strokes possible to help create a stronger, cleaner, more efficient painting. Start off with a large mop brush, then move into a middle-sized brush, and then use a smaller brush at the end to add in the details.
When I first start the painting and I paint the sky and the lighter values, I'm using a large mop brush. Then when I get into painting the mountain and the large connected middle value shape, I'm using a medium round brush. When I want to add the details, the harder edges, the more expressive brush marks, that's when I'm using a smaller brush that has a nice point to it.
If you can think of it in this approach, you can paint a more cohesive painting that doesn't feel overworked. Number 2, beginners don't look at their painting as a whole when they paint. They're focusing on one small little area. When I paint a workshop, I will inevitably see a student hunched over their watercolor almost at a microscopic level to make sure that everything looks just like it does in their reference photo in this tiny little area of the painting. What I want you to do is take a deep breath, step back, and look at your painting as a whole. How are the different areas relating to each other? What is the most important part of the painting? How can I downplay the other areas of the scene to bring emphasis into this one area? When you start asking those questions, that is when you know that you are on the path to becoming a better painter. I promise you that that will make a difference if you can start thinking in that way. And the number 3 thing that beginners get wrong with watercolor is painting too light. If we paint too light, then we can never have dynamic light within our paintings. 2 paints are easier to get a richer mixture than pan paints. You can squeeze out some paint onto your palette and you have rich paint right away to help you get a strong mixture and more richness to your values, which will help the light stand out in your scene. Often, students are using too much water and not enough paint. So we need to be thinking about paint consistency.
Here's what I see a lot of times with students when they are painting. They need to rinse off their brush to get paint off of their brush, and then they rinse it, and then they come right back over here to mixing. And they might get some paint, mix this together, and without even thinking about it, look how watered down this mixture is. So what needs to be happening is you need to rinse your brush off. Then you need to take the moisture off on a sponge. Then you can go get your paint and start to mix it up. You can see the difference, how much stronger that is compared to that.
You can create richer values and better paintings when you can learn to paint strong enough in this medium.
Here is an early painting of mine, and you can tell that I wasn't really understanding values, and I did not realize how strong I would need to paint the sky in order for the light to be really apparent in this part of the scene. Painting too light was a big problem for me, and once I understood how to mix up stronger paint and got a better handle on values, then I could paint something like this where the light was much more apparent.
So those are the 3 things. Use less brush strokes. Think about what brush you are picking up. Is this the right brush? Ask yourself that question. Number 2, am I hyper focusing on this one little area instead of seeing how everything relates to each other within my painting? And number 3, am I painting too light? We can't have vibrant light within our scenes if we paint in a really weak way. So ensure that you're using enough paint in your mixtures. Those are the 3 things that beginners get wrong in watercolor. Does one of these resonate with you? Leave that in a comment down below. If you're looking for a good resource to help you plan out your paintings and to ensure that you're moving in the right direction, take a look at this. Have you ever been really excited about a painting and you get all set up, you find that right reference that you're excited about, and then it's time to go and you feel lost? I have a free resource that I want to give to you today that can help with these problems. My 5 steps to plan a successful watercolor painting. I walk you through the crucial planning phase of your painting that will help you understand what you're going to paint first, second, and third. The planning is really so important, especially in watercolor. This medium is harder to correct. It's so immediate. So having that plan is very important. I send you a PDF that you can download. And the great thing about this is you can have it on your phone. You could print it out. You can download this right now before you start your next painting. All you have to do is follow this link here and download my 5-step guide to planning a successful watercolor painting.